In this video, I'm going to talk about why you shouldn't make big cuts on mulberry unless absolutely necessary. And this is why. When you make a larger cut on a mulberry, they're very slow to heal, and they pretty much always, especially if the cut's over about 2 inches, they tend to rot out before they'll actually heal over or encase the wound. It's not really healing it, they just encase it, they cover it with the living tissue. And mulberries aren't very good at it. If you make the same cut on a mango, very quickly they'll encase the wound, or they'll grow living tissue over the open wound. But mulberries just don't do it. Now this is a white mulberry, or Morris Alba. Almost all the mulberries sold in Australia are Morris Alba. Even the ones they call Morris Niagara, because they have a black fruit, they're actually mistaken. So they're mostly Morris Alba. Morris Alba can have black, white, red fruit, but they're all the same. And unlike Morris Niagara, which is a long-lived tree, Morris Alba are quite short-lived. This tree is about maybe only 20 years old, and it grew very quickly. Obviously it's growing in a chook pen, so it grew very quickly, and that was great, but it got away a bit. So this is my father's tree at my dad and mum's house, and it got away from them, and so they were forced to make some big cuts, and it's resulted in, big cuts up here resulted in rotting down there. Big cuts here have resulted in a rotted out trunk, and if you can see it up high, another large cut up there. That one only about 4 inches across, and it's caused that rot down there. So the key with mulberry is to make smaller cuts often. So if you can cut it back every year, it can encase the wounds on those smaller cuts. So it can heal, for want of a better term, those smaller cuts. But larger cuts, no good. You can see even smaller cuts, so there's a small cut here, even smaller cuts will often result in dieback and rot. While I'm over here, if you remember the 2 Peruvian apple cactus cuttings I planted beside this larger cactus, they're both going well. They're both growing from when I planted them a couple of months ago. They haven't received any water in this position, and we're in a very dry year here in southeast Queensland, Australia, and they're doing just fine. Just on the other side of the tree here, and you can see larger cuts that have caused rot as well. They just don't heal. That's a horrible pruning job by my dad, but yeah, it wouldn't have healed anyway. Large cuts on mulberry, no good. My dad's a bit of an inventor, so here's a quick look, or a sneak peek at his overly complicated way of opening and closing the door here he has to keep a rooster in. Well, it's still acreage, but a rooster in suburbia, so it doesn't annoy other people early in the morning. Maybe I'll do a clip on that at some stage. And there's his homemade trundle feeder. So, key with mulberry, little and often. If you've got a big tree like this and you do need to cut it back, just be okay with the fact that it may eventually cause the demise of the tree. Thanks for watching.